Hey everyone, this week I'm a little pressed for time. As we speak, I'm driving through the Sierra Nevada mountains, and I'm on my way to Sacramento for our 3DMJ coaches meeting that we usually hold somewhere about every month to every 3 months, something like that. So it cuts into my time a little bit, and usually I spend my Mondays and Tuesdays putting my prep blog together and putting my videos together. And because I'm traveling down there today, and basically spending all day down there today and tomorrow and then traveling back late Tuesday night, I don't really have time to do that. So I think this week just probably going to put everything into one kind of big long vlog and keep everything updated that way. So first, let's talk about prep. Prep last week was pretty good. I would not say that it was great, but it was pretty good. No changes to the protocol at all. You're still doing 35 fat, 225 carbs, 200 protein. My high day is about every seventh day, doing 35 to 50 fat, pretty wide range there. Roughly 400 carbs and then 200 protein. I did that on Saturday, and did that so that I could get some photos, some physique photos 2 days after my high day. It's kind of one of my homework items that Jeff's got me doing. Is we want to kind of compare, day of, or I guess basically day before a high day, day after a high day, and then 2 days after. So this week got my high day on Saturday, so that way I was back home and back where I always take my photos Monday, which was 2 days after my high day. That being said, the week was very, very good as far as progress goes on the scale, as far as weight and fat dropping. Had essentially 3 prep lows this week. Tuesday I had a 162.8. Wednesday I had a 162.2. Thursday I had a 161.8. And then Friday morning before I left for work, before I left town for work, I was 163, which is pretty typical. That's usually the case when you have, a few prep lows like that. You usually bounce back up. You usually don't stay right there the whole time. So that's pretty typical for me. So weight-wise, yes, it was whoa, got somebody pulling right in front of me. It was a good week. Look a little bit leaner too. I feel like I'm leaning out in kind of my troubled areas. So yeah, that was good this week. Training was better. It was better than last week, but still not kind of up to par with where I was, a month or two back. My back is better, but it's still not, 100%. Monday I was doing my hypertrophy reps for deadlift, and it was, roughly just a little over 60% of my max. So it was very doable. 3 sets of 14 to 15 reps. And for the most part, I got all the way through it without any issues. I was sore. I was very sore after the workout, but not bad. At least I could complete it, which was saying a lot more than the previous week's deadlift workout. And then Friday was a heavy squat day, and so that required doubles and triples with about, let's see, 70, about 85% of max. And that one kind of hurt me. First, I do 5 sets. I would say the first 2.5, 3 sets were pretty good. But 4th and 5th set, I was hurting. And so I was just happy to get that one done. And then otherwise got my 3 cardio sessions in, no problem, doing HIIT, kind of in that format that I outlined. Macros were on point every single day, and yeah, so it was a pretty good week, not a great week, but a pretty good week. And as far as the busyness of prep goes, it was a decent week. Now, my mindset overall, a little bit better. And really, to be honest with you, I have to attribute that to Jeff. I've probably pointed out on more than one occasion that I've really thought about pulling the plug on my prep on a few different occasions now. My wife and I both think that I'm smaller than I have been in past years, which is very discouraging. Because I'm stronger than I ever have been, and it's kind of like, how can I be smaller and yet still be stronger? That just seeing Berto's improvements. I mean, Berto and I competed on the same stage, basically going tooth and nail, just 6 years ago, and here it is 6 years later, and Berto's improvements are, just vastly better than mine. I mean, I wish I had the kind of improvements that Berto's got. And so I was worried. I was not going to look any different this year on stage. And I still might not. But Jeff's really helped me to kind of shift my focus away from that. Shift my focus away from improvement. Comparing my improvements or lack thereof to other people's improvements. And really, he kind of, for lack of a better term, fed me my own words. He looked at some of my old articles and read me my own words. And really, it just kind of put into perspective what I should be focusing on. And that's kind of what I've always been, or kind of what's always been my strong suit, and what kind of got me, to the top of the amateurs and got me my pro card. And that's just putting it all out there. Just absolutely doing everything I can, trying my hardest, trying to be smart, and just putting it all out there. And that really, really helped. Just, kind of putting everything else aside and just saying, you know what? Put out 150% in every way, and then just let it all fall where it may. And to kind of help out, I revisited one of my favorite movies that a very dear friend gave me a few years back. A movie called Facing the Giants. It's a football movie, and ironically, of my top 10 favorite movies of all time, 6 of them are probably football movies. And that's kind of the theme of Facing the Giants for those of you that haven't seen it. I mean, I really love that movie for 2 reasons. Number one, I'm Catholic, and so I love Christian movies with a good theme to it. And then number 2, I love football. And so that one, it kind of brings those 2 things together. And that whole movie is basically just that. Put it all on the line, give 150%, and then let God take care of the rest. And of course, in that movie, it's got a good ending, and everything comes together beautifully. So, basically in a nutshell, that's going to be my focus. My focus is going to be, let's get back to the way Brad used to do things. You bust your butt the smart way, and then, you know, let the judges decide who wins, who places second, who places last. And if I place last, that's fine. It'll be the first time, but that's fine. At least I worked my butt off and worked my hardest to place last. Alrighty, I had to switch hands. My thumb was getting tired. So, yeah, as I was saying, I got to really give kind of my improvement of my mindset, you know, to Jeff, which ultimately could be while I'm dropping weight, because less stress on me, you know, less troubles in my heart, and the body just kind of, you know, follows suit. And that's been, you know, kind of a big issue in my mind, is just, you know, all of the stress. And Jeff really he went above and beyond the call of duty as a coach, you know, to you know, help kind of put my mind at ease. I saw Jeff's video that he posted up last week, his all for one and one for all video. And I was watching that, you know, I was really kind of clueless, and I was like, gosh, you know, that's a really good idea. You know, we've got a lot of new subscribers on the YouTube channel, and we've got a lot of new athletes that are signing up and becoming part of the secret, you know, kind of headquarters on 3DMGHQ. And probably a good idea, you know, to kind of let these new folks kind of know the origins of 3D Muscle Journey and know our roots and our mission. And so I was like, yeah, that's a really good idea. And then as I was watching it, you know, I was kind of like, you know what, Jeff's kind of sticking up for me here. You know, my older brother's kind of, you know, is sticking up for his younger brother. And, you know, of course, I was a little bit surprised about that, and kind of wondering, you know, what that was all about. And so, you know, sure enough, I go to the YouTube videos and just look at all of the thumbs down, all the thumbs down. It's just like tons of 80, 50, 100, you know, thumbs down, all on my videos. Alrighty, so time to change hands. So as I was saying, yeah, tons of thumbs down, and I obviously am not going to read the comments on the YouTube page, as I've outlined in a separate video that's on our YouTube channel. And so obviously the comments had to be pretty darn bad, you know, for Jeff to make a video, you know, kind of sticking up for me. And I can imagine, you know, what they were saying, and probably the same stuff that they've always said about me. But yeah, so, you know, obviously people don't like me much, and you know, I guess I can honestly say that the feeling is not mutual. You know, we appreciate every view on our YouTube channel, every, you know, thumbs up, thumbs down, you know, positive comment, you know, what have you. I think probably the one caveat that I've got, you know, in reference to Jeff's video, is that, you know, while we do accept constructive criticism, you know, Brad's got a few rules when it comes to constructive criticism. First and foremost, trolling is not constructive criticism. You know, I really don't care how it's worded. So that negates constructive criticism, whatever is trolling. Secondly, you know, kind of in line with trolling, is that, you know, an anonymous comment or any, you know, constructive criticism that's kind of draped in sarcasm and ultimately somehow attacks the character or is some sort of a personal attack on the person, that's not constructive criticism either. That's basically an insult that is disguised as constructive criticism. And so, you know, that being said, I mean, shoot, I mean, our emails are on the 3D Muscle Journey website. You know, if there's good constructive criticism, comments, feedback, questions, you know, just send me a nice tactful email, you know, kind of like if we were talking face to face, and I'd be happy, you know, to get back. but yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna look at YouTube comments that, you know, I mean, if you watch that video that I put up, you know, or if you have watched it, I mean, listen to the true meaning of that video. I mean, that video is basically, that's Brad's way of expressing how he really cannot cope with today's, you know, way of communicating via social media, you know, and not being able to handle it. And, you know, that's, I can't retort people, and I can't debate them, and, you know, I can't get back in the face of somebody that calls me a skinny prick, you know. And that's a tough thing for me. Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth now and in that video that I made, and just know that any comment, you know, anything else regarding that issue is basically somebody's misinterpretation of the meaning of that video, and you know, basically putting words into my mouth, I guess you might say. And so yeah, I mean, as I'm driving, maybe that's why I've gotten all the thumbs down and all the poor reviews, I guess you might say, on my videos. And I mean, that's fine. That there's you know, that, yeah, that's I'm a sensitive guy, you know, and that's something that, you know, probably for some people that are sensitive like me might be a hard thing to deal with. But at the same time, you know, I don't wish any ill will on anybody or hate anybody or dislike anybody for that matter, you know. That's just not the way I was raised, and that's not the way, you know, that I'm certain God wants, you know, the way that God wants us to conduct ourselves, you know. And you know, basically God says, you know, thou shalt not judge, you know, you can't pass judgment on others, you know, love your fellow man. And it's not up to me to, you know, fight that or try to fit, you know, my way of thinking in line with that. It's my job to suck it up and do what he says. So that's what I'm going to do. But yeah, thanks to Jeff. Thank you to Jeff for sticking up for me. And, you know, gosh, I just got to be so thankful and so grateful just for being on this team. And, you know, 3D Muscle Journey in my heart, you know, would be here, would be just as successful, would be, you know, just as popular without Brad Loomis, you know, as with Brad Loomis. And I know that. And, you know, Jeff and Jeff and Alberto and Eric, they all know how I feel. And, you know, I truly believe that in my heart. And with that being said, I'm so grateful that, you know, I've been able to be included in this and be a part of this, because I really feel like, above all things, I am better at being a coach than anything else. And in every sense of the word. I mean, when I first got into coaching, it was with, you know, soccer, when my son's, you know, soccer team. And right off the bat, you know, my parents loved me. They're like, man, these kids respond to you. You speak their language, you know. And that was right on up through the years that I coached Pop Warner football. And, you know, my volunteers that I have at work in the CAT scan department, you know, and they're green when it comes to healthcare. And all of them are just like, yes, we love working with you, Brad. You know, you're so positive, and you are able to teach us things in a way that no one, you know, can really teach us. And I really feel like that's my true calling and what I love to do. And, you know, to be able to do that, you know, in the manner that we do it is just, man, somebody was watching out for me. Somebody, you know, I must have truly done something right at some point to be able, you know, to be part of this. And, you know, I feel like that's what I'm truly good at. I'm truly good at communicating with folks and communicating and putting into context in a language that people understand what it is that I'm trying to coach them and really help them get the most out of themselves. And so, you know, Jeff, Alberto, you know, Eric, you guys, you know, I know I've said this a million times, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you for including me. And, you know, thank you for continuing to, you know, to stick up for me, because I feel like I'm a good coach. And, you know, just because I'm not genetically blessed with the best of bodybuilding, you know, characteristics, and, you know, I probably don't have the best outlook when it comes to social media, you know, and the best way to get that out there. At the same time, I feel like I really have a way of contributing and a way of helping people. And, you know, that's, I can't express my gratitude enough. And that's basically the gist of this video. It's very long, I apologize. And I'll edit it up as best I can. But yeah, that's kind of Brad's prep, Brad's mindset, you know, Brad's gratefulness in a nutshell. And with that, I'll leave it there. I don't have a lot of clips from training last week. Just like I got some clips of that deadlift, you know, workout that I was talking about. But I promise next week I